Eddie Trunk on Volume SiriusXM 106.
Welcome back live on this Thursday, Trunk Nation, SiriusXM 106 Volume. Good to have you guys hanging out as always as we talk rock with you Monday to Friday here on Trunk Nation, 2 to 4 p.m. Eastern live. And looking forward to talking rock and all sorts of things with the guy who just came in. It's been a while since we talked. Phil Anselmo, good to see you, brother.
What's going on, Big Daddy?
How's things, man?
Can't complain, won't.
You got a lot of things going on, man. You always got a lot of things going on. A lot of bands. You're a man of multiple bands, aren't you?
You could say that probably in about 5 different languages, and every time it would come out, a lot of different bands.
How many bands are there right now?
I don't know, man.
About 4 or 5, right? Easily.
Easily.
Down, Super Joint, Illegals.
Illegals in Minor, which is something nobody knows about till now.
Which is what?
I guess it's too hard to explain in one sitting, so just know that it's floating around out there. Plus, a couple little projects that I've done that I guess it's kind of premature to talk about right yet. So, but yeah, they're all there, and
I was in Houston this past weekend, and I met a guitar player, and he's like, yeah, I played in a band with Anselmo. I forget what his name was. Long, kind of black hair. He was at the King's X show in Houston over the weekend, but I don't... something.
Oh, yeah, Marzi. Yeah. He was on the first Illegals record.
Yeah. So It's just no matter who I run into, somehow they're connected to you in some way. They're in one of your many bands, it seems like. You got a lot of Anselmo's sort of musical offspring floating around out there.
That's what the idea was, man. Help a brother out. You know, I've known Marzi was a killer guitar player for a long time, and I was just trying to give him a platform of his own and something to grow from. So
for you, is it keep you sort of fresh and keep different ideas? You get to express different sort of musical vibes with all these different bands. It keeps you creative.
I think that music is vast. I think that there's many different genres, and I think if you are a true musician, you explore, and you know, I'm a lover of all kinds of music, so I explore. I'm an explorer there, Edward.
What kind of music would Philip Anselmo be into that people listening would be surprised? Like, do you got Justin Bieber records in your collection?
I do not.
Pop, classical? Is there music that people would be flipped out to know that you're a fan of?
I think I've given away the Smiths love that people trip out on, but I don't see why they should. I don't know, man. There's all kinds of stuff. As far as like something contemporary, have you heard Chelsea Wolfe?
No.
Incredible. Have you heard of Delilah Kairos?
No. What kind of music are we talking? Is it heavy or what is it?
No, Chelsea Wolfe is a kind of folky, and then she does all kind of different stuff, and it can be dark, it can be beautiful, or a combination thereof. And then Delilah, wow, where do I start with Delilah? She does noise, techno stuff. She's an Italian girl. She's from Italy. And matter of fact, she's in a band called SYK that my record label, we are putting their record out here real soon. And now that's I guess would fall under the heavy metal category, but that's just one facet of this girl. She is, in my opinion, maybe one of the best in the biz. Like, straight up, like she's a beast.
We should mention, for people that don't know, many do if you're a big fan of Phil's, but if you don't know, Phil has a label called Housecore Records.
Yeah.
Which, how long have you had that for?
Man, I guess like we really got serious around 2007, and since then we've put out I guess we're going on 20-something or different releases, and that's nothing amazing or anything like that, but we take our time, and we do specific things, and I like bands that are innovators, you know. You can be part of a certain genre, you know, as long as it's not complete regurgitation or something like that. You know, I like bands that put that little difference in there, you know. So I like the difference.
I'm laughing because you're saying you started a label in like 2007. So basically, you got into starting a record label when the wheels started coming off the music business.
It's a freaking money pit. But you know, it's like, you know, I'm giving back. We do vinyl and obviously CDs. We've done cassettes. So you know, it's as long as you. One thing I've learned, as long as you don't overstock, as long as you do things in, I guess, minimal physical copies, that way it's easier to reprint a record than it is to get rid of your
old stock,
your warehouse.
A lot of drink coasters for people.
Oh man, I got more T-shirts. I could make a sale for a like 80-foot sailboat out of the T-shirts that I'll never sell. So,
but a lot of it comes down to being selective about what you're signing too, because you don't want to just flood the market with shit. You want to put stuff that you really believe in and stand behind out there, and not just throwing it against the wall. It's stuff that you really have a passion for.
Yeah, and you know, I made early mistakes about doing a couple releases that I probably wouldn't do today. But you know, as far as right now and today, what you just said is very precise. And yeah, it's bands that, once again, that I believe are innovative and that I believe people should you know, give them the time of day. You know, like listen to this band because it's special.
When you were on that metal show with us a few years ago, I was laughing and joking with you because you had a Housecore Records T-shirt on, and the slogan for the label that it said on the back is "We owe you nothing." Yeah. And I said, that's a hell of a statement for a record company to say.
Yep.
But what is this? What is the mentality? Like, how do you have a record company? Is that a message to your artists or to fans? What is that message? We owe you nothing.
Well, it's honestly, it came from an old Richard Kern film, and he used to make. And for anyone who doesn't know who Richard Kern is, was a underground filmmaker who did a lot of his shoots here in New York. He did movies with Lydia Lunch and Henry Rollins and Nick Zedd and stuff like that. Actors at the time and spoken word poets and stuff like that, and really, really cutting edge, gritty black and white films. And there was a slogan spray painted on one of these inside of these apartment walls that said, "We owe you nothing." And it's just like, to me, it's like that is the punk rock, that is the attitude, you know. It's like, you know, you get what you get, especially in this day and age of illegal downloads. So it's like, you know, have it.
I love the transparency, though. I mean, that's as honest as it gets. We're signing you, we'll put your record out, but we owe you nothing.
No, that's not really. It's not for my bands, you know. It's for my bands.
I know, but that's how I took it. I thought it was funny.
I bet you did there, Edward.
The Housecore has put out the new album from your latest release, Superjoint. We're going to talk a little bit about this. A few other things, obviously, we want to get into, and then we're going to let some of the audience call in and talk to you as well. Phil Anselmo is here. Our number is 844-686-5863. Just getting started here on this Thursday, Trunk Nation. We'll come back and continue talking about so much more with Phil right after this break on Trunk Nation.
under Trunk. This is Trunk Nation with Eddie Trunk.
On Volume, SiriusXM 106.
Phil Anselmo is here in the studio with me on Trunk Nation, SiriusXM 106. Good to see you as always, man. Thank you for coming by.
Right back.
We got a lot of things we got to talk about, including the Super Joint record, which we're going to get to in a minute.
Sure.
But I would not be doing my job if I had you here and I did not address a big controversy that you found yourself in earlier this year at the Dimebash. What is your response to all that and the backlash that ensued when you were accused of saying white power and raising your hand like that at that event? Because you know how hard you got hit by a lot of people on that. And I want to give you your opportunity to say your piece on it.
Wow.
Because there were a lot of people that are among your peers that came down pretty hard on you as well. And I'm curious, how you felt when the world was basically coming down on you for that period of time. So take us through it.
Well, there was, as far as I understood, this was a gig for my murdered guitar player. And from the second I stepped out on the stage till the very end, and you can watch the YouTube footage for yourself, me growing more and more drunkenly, I may add, but that's neither here nor there. More and more aggravated by these just 2 or 3 little hecklers. And all they could do, like a great number. See, this word gets thrown around like it's easy going or something. But when people start screaming racist over and over and over and over again at me, what I did was show them exactly what the ugliest possible thing I could think of at the time was.
This is important, Philip. Let me just jump in right here. So you're saying there were people in the audience before you did that. They were yelling at you
constantly throughout the entire.
Have you experienced that before at shows?
Here and there, sure. But you got to understand, but not quite like this. No. Not quite like this. They were looking for what they got, and sadly enough, I gave it to them. But the thing is, I've always engaged my audience, always.
Sure.
And that was part of the charm of every band I've ever been in, and the type of frontman that I am.
The
call
intensity.
bullshit. Absolutely.
Yeah.
And there's one point in that video that I invited them to come up on the stage, and I dared them to call me that to my face, and I'd break their jaws. So at the end of the show, when I knew everybody was getting cleared out and whatnot, I lost my shit, so to speak. I did what I did, and of course, I could have just walked away professionally and walked away. Yeah, that's fine. And then these so-called peers, those are your words, who gave me backlash, need to take a good cold stare in the mirror themselves. And anyone else who throws that word racism or racist around so freely, they need to understand the implications of said word. That's a heavy-duty implication.
Absolutely.
When you don't know jack shit about me, except for what you've seen in live performances, music videos, interviews, use. You can do whatever. And taken out of this whole thing is my dark sense of humor, which at the time I was half angry, half joking, because funny enough, just before the gig started, Doug Pinnick from King's X, a gay black man, came to say hello to me. I kissed him on the lips because, A, I'm comfortable as hell with my sexuality, and I don't care what people think about me sexually. And then he said, man, you taste good. And it was a white wine. I said, it must be that white power. Ho, ho, ho. Yeah, so that was a joke there. And then some of my musical peers, your words, took that. And by the way, the main culprit wasn't even privy to the room that I was in.
Well, I mean, listen, it's no secret, man. Instead of dancing around it, you're probably talking about Robb Flynn, right? From Machine Head, because Robb put a video out.
Yeah, you know. But
this stuff happened, though. We're not insinuating. This stuff happened. People know this. This is out there. This is what happened when the shit went down.
Exactly.
So I want you to have your opportunity, as you have right now, to talk about this. And I don't think people have really heard you respond to this.
Well, straight up, everybody in my camp and everybody around us, every one of anybody who's ever watched Robert over the years knows that he watches me and watches me and watches me and sits in a corner and watches me. And then when we get on stage together, you know what? It all comes down to, and straight up, he wants to ride the coattails, Jack. He wants to ride the coattails, and he started off a song, and I told him to stop. I hadn't even announced the song, so he took that as a slight.
This wasn't at the event where this happened with you. You're talking because you said Robb wasn't there, right? He wasn't at the Dimebash.
I'm talking about on stage now. Now I'm talking. Now I'm talking.
Oh, he was
about
there
the
on
event.
stage. Okay, gotcha.
On stage, he started a song without me announcing the goddamn song. And I said something like, you don't know me, and which is, once again, my sense of humor. And I know it hurt his ego or whatever, which, you know, that's sorry for you, brother, but I'm not sorry. You know, and so he made an 11-minute video, and some dude who knows nothing about me except Pantera and this and that, you know, I'm a believer in freedom of speech, whether you're joking around or not, whatever, you know. This whole I'm a racist thing is, it's infuriating because it's false, absolutely false, and I'd like to turn around and say, hey, what have you done to better your community, Robert? If you're going to call me out on this supposed heinous act, what have you done? What have you done? I know what I've done. I know what I've done for the inner city kids in Detroit when the Kronk boxing gym was getting closed down. I forked over thousands of dollars that I most certainly did not have to make sure those kids got fed, clothed, and a place to sleep, because it was run by the last father figure I had in my goddamn life, a black man named Emmanuel Stewart,
one of
rest
the
in
greats
peace,
of all time in boxing,
who used to call me before every fight that he would call on HBO and say, "What you think, Phil?"
Really?
And he would ask me my opinion of what I thought the outcome would be. And if you want to really go do your homework and check things out, one time we had a disagreement on the phone. And he's like, "Nah, man, I think the fight's going to go this way." I'm like, "Emmanuel, it's not, man."
With a guy he was training?
No. If he's going to call a fight, then he wasn't training a guy.
He was doing
he was
HBO,
gonna do,
yeah.
he was going to do
Right.
his HBO gig. And I happened to call the fight right. And he goes, "Damn, Phil," over the microphone
Remember what
on
fight
HBO.
it was? Do you remember what fight it was?
I don't. I think it was a Miguel Cotto fight, but I could be wrong right there. He goes, "Damn, Phil, you were right. You were right." And we all heard it. We were like, "Ah, you heard it." And, I had friends email me and stuff like that were, in my boxing circles and stuff like that. And, when I get a chance in my hometown of New Orleans, the South, the utter living, breathing South, where I went to public school with every type of person. I lived in a single-parent household for a very long time in the French Quarter. And if you've ever been to the French Quarter, and anybody who hasn't been to the French Quarter, it's about, and always has been about, as diverse an area you got and lived in. We had every type, color, kind, creed of friend. My aunt, who lived with us for a time, did theater, so we had the gay theater members over, and my mother dated out of her race, so to speak. And I had nothing but love for these people because I was taught nothing but love for these people. The first babysitter I ever had was a transsexual man to woman who lived next door named Wilma, and I adored her. My family trusted me with her. They weren't like, "Oh, my Lord, she's this... She was once a man," and I wasn't taught all this bigotry. I was taught to embrace it, and I loved Wilma, and I do speak in past tense because she's dead. I was not taught this way. So any white power, whatnot, whatever, when people say I have a history, okay, you go back in the day when I was in my 20s, and there was a shirt circulating around that said, "Stop black on black crime." I took offense to it. A 20-something-year-old Phil Anselmo took offense to it because it was this exclusive thing in my brain. And to me, it felt like, stop black on black crime. Why not just have a shirt that says "Stop crime"? Now, here I am, almost 50 years old, and I can agree with that shirt wholeheartedly, and now I see where it's coming from. I get it. Whoa. Did I misspeak at the time? Coming from the upbringing that I had? I'm not so sure. That there's some, I don't know, but I most certainly did not mean to be racist. That's calling out bullshit on crime is not racist.
So let me ask you something.
Yeah,
so you think
want.
These people, because I think the really interesting thing about all of this is that you were provoked into this, that you had people in the front of that stage that night that were trying to get a rise out of you, that were trying to pull you into this. This is what you're saying.
That is exactly what I'm saying.
And
I could have turned around and walked away and been very professional about it. Instead, I engaged my audience like I do. And what I did was absolutely stupid. I own it. Instead of pawning it, oh, I was drunk. Oh, this, that, the other. I own it. I did it. It's on video for the world to see. But I'm saying straight up, look into my brown Sicilian eyes as I say it. If I found out tomorrow that I had black African in my DNA, would that change my story at all? Would that make me feel one less different or strange about my life? Hell no, it wouldn't. Goddamn fuck no, it wouldn't. And yes, it upsets me. Racism. And it's the motherfuckers out there, straight up, that view through that lens. If they're looking for something racist in anything, chances are, if you're looking through that particular broken lens, you're gonna find it.
Well, I believe that we're in a time and place, because I will never make assessments on anybody's character or anything that anybody does based off of stuff on the internet, stuff you see on YouTube, whatever. You got to talk to people. You got to find out what really goes on. You got to get into the story. There's two sides to every story. So I think we're in a time and place, I call it the Pounce Society, the Pounce generation, where everybody...
Pile on.
Exactly. Everybody's looking for anybody at any
to
level of celebrity.
Signal themselves away. Look at how virtuous I am. And that's where little Robert comes in. Look at my virtue. Me living in, what, California? You're going to compare that shit compared to the South? You out of your fucking mind.
But I just believe that you, before anybody speaks on anything, you got to know, you better take the time before you're going to go after anybody. Take the time to learn everything.
Ulterior motives. And then you got Scott Ian, who the day after it happened, he goes, Phil, wrote me some email, what I saw was ugly and this, that, the other. So says the guy who writes a record called Speak English or Die. And if that record were to come out this year, last year, fucking forget it. You think you get pounced on? You damn right he would, and he knows it. Virtue signal. I dare you to, or if you're really sorry, donate to this Nazi hunter Jewish cause or whatever. I did it in an hour. Did you ever hear about that story?
No, I didn't.
Of course you didn't.
Nope.
You know why? It's not
doesn't make good headlines.
It doesn't make good headlines.
That's the world we're in now,
there
man.
You go. Right
I'm with you. I talk about it all the time.
I donated that hour, if not that goddamn second.
Yeah. No, people are looking for the shit. They're looking for the dirt, and it's the society we're in right now. With I'm not talking about whether Scott or Robb, what they're saying. I'm just talking in general. The world we're in now, it's the pounce world. Everybody's looking for anybody at any level of celebrity to slip up in the slightest, and before they get all the facts and actually talk to the person, as I am talking to you, hearing the full story, then make your assessment, then make your evaluation. But to come in and judge anything that you may have seen or heard, and take who knows what context it's in.
Context doesn't matter to these SJWs, and you know what I'm saying. The social justice warrior. You know what that is. And I am very clear. There are certain types there is certain social justice that is justified and good. But when you add the warrior to it, people know what the fuck we're talking about.
We got to get right to a really quick break here. We're going to come back. We want to talk about Philip's music as well, of course, but we needed to discuss this. More with Philip Anselmo on Trunk Nation coming up.
with Eddie Trunk.
On Volume, SiriusXM 106.
All right, we're back live with Phil Anselmo here on Trunk Nation, and I appreciate you being so open about I wanted to hear from you on this, man, and I appreciate you being so giving about your thoughts on it because, again, the one thing I certainly can agree with you on is this world that we're in now where there isn't any fact-checking and people are looking for the pounce. They're looking for somebody to slip up, and then they're looking to pile on and whatever. And it happens in every walk of life. From what happened with you, it also I told you off the air. I can be on this radio show and say somebody call and ask me about a band, and I can say, hey, you know what? It's not my kind of thing, but good luck to them. If you like and enjoy it, I respect it, whatever. And that becomes, that even for someone like me, that becomes Eddie Trunk shit talks a band. It's like, man, why don't you actually listen to what somebody said? Why don't you actually take the context of it?
Because context means nothing to the SJW.
And we're in such, and one thing I'll also agree, man, is we are in such it makes me crazy, this thin-skinned, hyper PC world that we are in is just crazy to me, and I can't take it.
Because it has moved us backwards.
Yeah.
As a society, man. It's like there is this such thing as a real world offline. Because you see all this negativity piling on, shit talk, death threats, etc., etc., etc. But you take a step outside and you go run into your average, normal, everyday people, and you get along with everybody. And it's like, wow, this is refreshing. It's like, this is almost a perfect segue to the Superjoint record.
Well, I'm going to get to that.
It caught up in the gears of application. And that's, you see things online that are just inherently not true in the real world when you talk to real people face to face, unless they are indoctrinated in the SJW double speak, double standard, double everything, this and that, circular talk that goes fucking nowhere because they're not hearing you. They're not hearing you on purpose. On purpose, they're not hearing you. And to cause that kind of chaos, maybe that's their point. Maybe that's their punk rock today. Great job. Fine. But for the rest of the real world, it's like, it's getting old, assholes.
One quick thing that I want to ask you on this before we move on from it. You mentioned before your sense of humor and that, you have a... Do you think you're
anything goes?
Right. Do you think you're misunderstood? Do you think people totally that don't know you have that your humor and the way you present things, that you come off to other people as not that, like they don't have that connection to you. They don't see your sense of humor. They don't understand your sense of humor.
That's an interesting question because I meet people who don't even know. Well,
because
I've had people come up to me straight up, black dudes. Straight up, walk right up to me, and this is like as recent as a month ago, and the first thing out of their mouth is, Phil, I want you to know, dude, we all got the same sense of humor as you, and we know that they are bashing you just because it's the day and age. We know you ain't no damn fucking racist. We know that they're hip, man. They know, man. I honestly, I haven't been approached by one, like someone who recognizes me and knows me. And okay, I guess the closest thing I could say was I didn't realize it, but I was in a circle of people talking, and then there was this one girl who was very quiet. And as the conversation kept going around and around, and her and I started speaking a little bit more and more and more, she said, "You know, I thought you were going to be this really unpleasant, racist, terrible guy, but I'm not sensing that at all from you at all." You know, it's like, it's like, yes, she admitted I came in with preconceived everything from what I had read and heard, and I'm walking away with a completely different opinion now. And I said, thank you, for God's sakes.
I think people get intimidated by you that don't know you.
And see, that's ridiculous to me, too, because I don't see myself that way, but I know other people do.
Yeah, I think I know you, and I get your sense of humor. And I was telling the story before you came on the air. We were messing around because I saw you at the Golden Gods a few years ago, and you came up to me and you said, "Put your fists up, man," and I was like, now somebody didn't know you, said, "Oh shit, Anselmo's going to deck me. He's mad at me about something."
God.
You were talking about boxing because we're boxing fans, and we were talking about boxing.
I would say that anyway, but I would say that to the smallest girl in the room, just joking around. You know, it's like I'm going to be seriously.
You were trying to show me a
some
stance.
altercation,
right?
You know?
Right, but I think that listen, you're the singer in this intense metal band, Pantera. You've got all these other bands. You've got, from New Orleans. You're big tough guy. You got the southern accent. You're this intimidating guy to some people before they even really peel away the layers and say, man, he's just a dude that's having fun and doing what he loves. I think that that's the perception to some people, though. That's why they could play into and so easily attack you for whatever they perceive to be happening.
And what the sad thing is like when you do read comments, I read this one guy, just case in point. Yeah, he claimed to be, everybody online is absolutely who they claim to be. Anyway, so he claimed to be a lawyer, and he sees things through lawyer eyes, whatever that is. And he goes, so now when I go back and listen to Walk and I hear Phil say, "Walk on home, boy," I can't help but think what he's talking about when he says, boy. That song is about I wrote that song about my own fucking friends. It's basically my version of Am I Losing from Leonard Skinner, about getting a little bit of fame and then your friends kind of turning their backs on you because they think you've changed because
and
you've
you've
gotten a little bit of success or something like that. It's a walk on home, boy. It's like, don't friends say, "What's up, boy? What's happening, man? What's going on, boy? What's up?" Among other things.
Oh, my friends and I call each other. I mean, if people
we call each other all kinds of stuff.
When I meet some of my closest friends, "What's up, motherfucker?" What's up, you piece of shit?
What's up?
That's how we
Me and Jimmy Bauer are the most ruthless.
That's our way of showing love.
It is.
Yeah.
It is.
Because it's not, because somebody you know 30 times you talk to every day, you got to come up with something to keep them on their toes.
And you've known them 30 years, so if it's also what's, oh my God.
Well, listen, man, I know that this has had. Do you feel that this is finally going to this has had some repercussions on you as far as touring and being able to play certain places and all that? Do you feel that it's starting to dissipate? Do you feel that now you're getting your story out there a little bit, that people are starting to see this and that, things are opening up for you a little bit as far as clearing this up?
I don't pay attention so much to the music press. So I really, honestly, I don't. I would okay, I think the best part of me hopes and knows in my heart that most people are logical thinkers and can and from what I've seen, and especially from doing, like, going out and doing horror conventions all around the country, I've gotten nothing but love. Nothing but love. And it's from all kinds of people, not just one type of person, not just one color person. Love from all sides of the spectrum, male, female, whatever, gay, straight, bi, black, brown, yellow, etc. Nothing but love. So to me, that shows me that, well, yes, there's logical thinkers out there. Let's just hope this thing called logic can possibly spread as quickly as the germ of negativity and that lens of preconceived bias that people want so much. They want it so badly. And why they want it, I don't know. And you know why? Because I know human nature. It's so much easier to hate than to put the fucking effort into love.
Listen, man, I appreciate you being so open and coming on here and talking about this as you have. I wish we had more time, but before we do run out of time, you do have a record out, and that's what we need to let people know. The band used to be called Super Joint Ritual. Now it's just Super Joint. The album is called Caught Up in the Gears of Application. Before you got to run out of here, and Missy will kill me because she put your record out. The record label's going to kill me. We didn't get into this. But talk about this record. Tell everybody about it. It's out now?
It is out now. And we'll be doing some shows in January, and then we'll extend that further if y'all are nice enough and you want me to come out there and you don't hurt my feelings. Hashtag don't hurt Phil's feelings. I hate hashtag. That's so...
You're not on social media, are you?
Fuck no. Not no, but fuck no.
All right, so check out the Super Joint record. And how about Down? You got anything cooking with Down?
Yeah, right now, I think Down is pulling a classic Down. Pepper's doing his COC thing. I think Pat, from what I understand, is got the bass gig for St. Vitus right now, so that's huge for him. And me and Jimmy are obviously chewing up Super Joint time. And who else is in Down? Bobby's doing his honky gigs, and I'm being literal. That's the name of his band, Honky. And, gosh, go figure.
I was just going to say, my God, they're coming after you again, buddy.
How offensive.
You just walked into that one.
Oh, no.
You thought you were getting out of here in the clear, and you just dropped another one. Quick, everybody.
Hey, I dropped the H word.
Listen, Phil, get on out of here, boy. Had enough of you.
Hey, wait, where's my... Let me tweet somebody. I'm trying to tweet somebody. Let me tweet,
We had people want to talk to you on the phones. We ran out of time. Hopefully you can come back. We can do this again. And I appreciate you coming in. I appreciate you being so open about this. And thank you for the time and all the great music, of course.
Brother,
over
I
the
got
years.
More. I'm sitting on like 5 different records right now.
You're a man of many bands.
I am.
And that's the way you kind of have to do it these days in the music industry. And, of course, Housecore Records. What's the website for people to find the product there?
TheHousecoreRecords.com.
All right. What happened?
Oh, yeah. I did a record with horror B-movie. No, I'm just kidding. Horror icon Bill Moseley, and we did an EP together, and it's interesting, to say the least. I only do backup vocals. I play most of the instruments on there, but Bill's a good singer, man, and he's a good lyricist, and wow, what a guy.
When's
what an
this
awesome
coming
guy.
out?
This month.
All right. House Score as well?
Yes.
So get it on the site or wherever you buy records. And,
wherever people buy records.
And definitely check it out. All right, man. Safe travels. Great to see you, and thank you for the time today.
Bring on the callers.
We can't. I'd love to take the callers. You have to go.
Oh, see you
they
later,
say
callers.
you have to go. I'm saying goodbye. If he can stay, I'll take the callers. Can he stay or no? He's got to. Well, you got all your handlers are telling me you got to go.
Hey, all you callers, I'll talk to you on the road.
Let's get one. Can we get one real quick? Can we get one? Ryan, we'll get one or two quick ones. Just Ryan in Nebraska. Go ahead, Ryan.
Hey, man. Yeah, it's Brian. Hey, I just want to put in my 2 cents for what it's worth. Good talking to you, and it's been an honor to listen to you, Eddie, over the years, as well as you, Phil. Just real quick here, first time I seen Pantera was, I think, 96. I believe it was Far Beyond Driven, and we walked in just a little late, of course. I think it was a snowstorm. And we get in there, and I'm coming through, and all of a sudden I hear Phil talking about, you can get your ass up on stage here. I don't care if you're yellow, black, red, green, pink, and I'll kiss you on the mouth. And it just kind of struck me because I was just getting turned on to Pantera at that time. And, Phil, I think, had the real short cropped up hair, and I think he had the military shirt on, and he kind of had that militant look. And I was like, looked at my buddy, who was just a huge fan, and he looked at me and he smiled and he said, yep, see, I told you he was a cool motherfucker. And you know what? I just always had respect for him after that. So I just wanted to stand up for you, Phil. I heard it back in the mid-'90s, and what you're saying is the truth.
Thank you, my brother, so much. And that is the truth.
Thank you for the call. We appreciate that. Couple quick ones here. Is it Michelle? Mitchell, I'm sorry. Mitchell in New York. Go ahead, Mitchell. You're on Trunk Nation with Phil Anselmo.
Hey, Phil, man, I got to say, fuck them. As soon as I heard that, I knew it was a fucking bullshit, contorted thing, and you had to be fucking driven by some asshole. And I've been listening to you since I was fucking 12 years old, Down, fucking Pantera, Super Joint, and everything is just the best, man. You're an idol to me.
Brother.
And I knew it was bullshit.
And man, you don't understand. I tell this to every fan that I meet, and look, the band does not pick the audience. The audience picks the band, and that's how I've always seen things. So I'm sending you every ounce of love that I possibly can over this microphone right back at you, baby. I love you. Thank you so much, man.
I love you too, Phil. And that Metal Grasshopper shit was hilarious.
I'm glad you loved it, man. I am. It was a blast doing that with Dave Hill.
Thank you, Mitchell, for the call. One more quick one. Bob in Atlanta. Go ahead, Bob.
Hey, Phil, it's Bob.
Hey, Bob.
I'm from Atlanta. I had the same booking as you, the same publicist, Ida Langston, as you back in the early day. I saw you with Rob Zombie, White Zombie back then a million times. I heard a zillion stories about you. There was never any racist story, man. None. And if you were a racist, we would have heard it back then because we heard about the coffins in the dressing rooms, all the stuff. So, I mean, it is just a bunch of crap, man. And I think everybody's past it by now because anybody who knows anybody who I think can do with you knows that it couldn't be true. There's just too much other stuff. We would have heard it. You're an open book, man.
I am an open book, man, and I will talk about the truth anytime that it comes up, and I thank you, man. Thank you for saying what you just got through saying, man, and just keep spreading the truth, brother. That's all we can do here, man, is just keep spreading the truth.
Thank you for the call, Bob. All right, I know you got to get out of here, brother. Thank you so much for coming by. Everybody hang out. We got about 40 minutes left to go on Trunk Nation. We will